All right, we're back. I know it's been a while. That's what happens when you have to go to work. Anyway, come back home to my hobby. So here we are with helping a friend out with a 2004 to 2005 Honda TRX450R. And he picked up this quad. Well, this is just the engine out of the quad. And he said that when he picked it up, it wasn't running. And the owner told him that it just needed a clutch. Well, let me give you a couple pointers when you're looking at one of these, ATVs, bike, or anything. One, you really can't take the seller's word for it, and you need to just look over everything, because sometimes you end up finding something that you're not expecting, later on after you've made the sale. So anyway, my buddy came up, brought this engine to me. Let me spin it around here and show you what. He pulled it apart, and sure enough, yep, just needed a clutch. As you can see, the cage is completely gone from right around in here, and all the balls have gone down to one side. So we don't know how long it's been running like this, making all sorts of noise. Plus, I mean, look at all that movement in that. That's just your kickstart idler gear. So anyway, it is completely shot. So if you're, well, how do you explain this? If you're buying a machine, don't take somebody's word for it. If you own the machine and it starts making rattling noises or weird noises, stop. This is what happens. You end up ruining things. So how do you explain that and actually have people listen? So anyway, that's that with the clutch. So it's completely shot. Anyway, we'll tear into this thing and find out what it actually needs. But I was under the impression that this was very similar to the CRF450. And anyway, in pulling the clutch or the flywheel off, I thought, yeah, just grab my 450 flywheel puller, thread right on, pulls that off. But nope, that's not the case. This is one of the differences. So here's the flywheel puller, and anyway, that one's for the CRF450. This is the that part number right there. I think it's by Pit Posse. Anyway, this one is for the CRF, and it's 24 millimeter opening by 1.5 pitch. And it did not work on this 04 TRX. The one for the 04 TRX is a 28 by 1.0. So anyway, that's just to kind of help those guys that, if they're looking for a puller for it and they don't know what fits it. The other issue that we ran across, or I should say I ran across, is that right there. You've got a broken bolt housing and the clutch actuator rod. Let's see if I can get this in here. So see that right there? Anyway, so now what I'm gonna have to do is split the case, pull that out, try to clean that up, weld it, and see if I can get it repaired to where I can fix this thing for him and put it back together and get it running. So anyway, back to the tip that I mentioned earlier. When you look at one of these motors, if you're looking at building something, look all over the motor. Look like right here, make sure you don't have any cracks or anything coming from because this is a kickstart model. Look right here around the sprocket to make sure there's nothing broken. Like this one, a chain derailed and probably broke that, so that's what caused that little issue. Along with that broken piece right there, and then there's a broken piece right down here too. Kind of hard to focus. Get it to focus down in there. So anyway, you want to look at that kind of area around the chain, especially because it's kind of known for if you throw a chain, you tend to break something right there. The other things you want to look at, we'll come around the side over here, is you want to look underneath the engine case, underneath the crank, just to make sure there's no cracks in the cases right there. So anyway, my buddy kind of bought this, and it ended up kind of being a lemon for him. You know, he's going to be a lot more money into trying to fix it than just needs a clutch. So anyway, don't take people's word for it. Anyway, we'll kind of keep you guys informed on how the progress with this one goes. Other than those little issues, we'll see what we find when we tear into it. So I'll be back with another video once it's all tore apart to see if there's any other internal damage. I know this video is kind of lame, but anyway, I'm just getting kind of back into it after from being gone for a couple months. So anyway, bear with me.